Jr. gets underneath Matt Kenseth, and that's second place.
Yeah, he was all over the back of Kenseth, and Rusty and Junior both was. Whoa! Yeah, Kenseth was holding those guys up, and man, they put a hammering on him.
I think actually Steve Park and Kenseth, Steve in the one car, they got together down there in 1 and 2 just for a second.
They're both black and yellow. How can you tell?
They look like one there for a second.
Right. They're going to be black and blue if they keep this up.
Right now they have Ryan Newman in the 12 car. They have him kicked on the high side, and a line of looks like about 8 cars trying to get underneath him.
I hear that train whistle again.
Yeah, and what happened now, see, everybody's had a few laps here. They've kind of settled in. They got their game face on now. They're starting to play a little rough. Time to go. Crew chief's got on and say, look, can't lollygag around like that anymore. Got to go.
Whoa! Just ahead of this, Jeff Green under Steve Park. And
boy, Kenseth he's going to get spun out.
I believe those boys did get together just a little bit. Steve Park in the 1, Matt Kenseth in the 17.
Man, this battle isn't over with yet. I don't know.
Jeff Gordon on the high side.
I think Kenseth's just trying to get back in line.
You know, Darrell, I think if we get a few laps under our belt on this racetrack, I think that second groove will come in. I mean, we saw 2 and 3 grooves being used at both races here last year.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be up against the wall like we've seen them here a few times, but they could get enough to where they could pass anyway. That's all you really hope for, so you can pass.
Now, look at what Matt Kenseth has been through since they dropped the flag for the restart. First, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Whoops.
Next, Jeff Gordon.
Whoa! That was loose. Well, I tell you, he's just kind of he can't go.
Terry Labonte by him.
They're gonna bump him right onto the rear the way they're going.
Somebody to watch tonight, Darrell. Jeff Green powered his way up to 4th place.
Well, you know, he ran a little bit of the Busch race last night. He didn't get to run a lot of it, but he did run probably enough to maybe make some good adjustments on his car.
Yeah, he started back in 14th, so he's definitely on the move. But he actually ran the Winston Cup race here in September in that 30 car, one of the few races he ran last year for Richard Childress Racing.
He's come to 4th and is chasing down Rusty Wallace. Meanwhile, Steve Park sits in 5th spot. Let's go to his pit.
Mike, Steve Park is fighting a push from the center off. The crew chief, Paul Andrews, said, Steve, your car has insurance. I added air pressure in the left rear and put wedge in before we started. This will help the car come in, but it'll come in gradually.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, I'm getting passed by everybody out here.
Darrell, it's got to be hard when that crew chief says, be patient.
Oh, yeah, and you got people banging into your back bumper.
And driving underneath you.
They're all around you like bees, and they're swatting at them, and crew chief tells you to be patient.
I mean, you see by the Fox tracks right here that he continues to lose ground to our leader right now, Ward Burton. Here's the miles per hour. This is driving off into turn 3, up about 133 miles an hour, right at about 95 miles an hour in the middle of 3 and 4. We're going to see more miles per hour on the front stretch because it's about 400 feet longer. You're in the gas a lot longer. About mid-140s getting into turn 1.
Yeah, you'll probably turn 300 to 400 more RPM going down into turn 1 than you will up that little short back straightaway.
Ward Burton, it's only the 2nd time he's ever led a race at Richmond. It's the 7th race, though, that he has led this year.
Well, I watched him in practice in happy hour, and, you know, other than Johnny Benson, he was the 2nd fastest car, and he was zinging by people out there in happy hour about like he is here in the race tonight.
And I don't mean to say it's easy out there where he is. I mean, right now he's about a 2 1/4-second lead, but if we stay green and we run another 15 or 20 laps, when it becomes tough, Darrell, and you have to use patience, is when you catch the back of the field. We got a battle for 2nd right here, battle for 3rd. Jeff Green in the 30 and Rusty in the 2 car.
Yeah, you were talking about Green. I just wanted you to know that Green just made a pass.
Now he's 4.2 seconds off the lead. As you see what that looks like to Ward Burton, the race leader, down here entering turn 1. Ward Burton stays in command here at Richmond International Raceway in the Pontiac Excitment 400, 45 laps old. Ward Burton well out in front. At 52 laps, he is just smoking the field.
Yeah, well, if it was Sunday afternoon, you could say he was cruising on a Sunday afternoon, but he's having him a pretty good Saturday night ride here.
And you know, Tommy Baldwin, his crew chief, told me on Friday, this brand new race car, untested, Bill Davis Racing, a lot like other of the major race teams, starting to build their own chassis. This is an in-house chassis.
Moments ago, Matt Kenseth, Steve Park again, and Jerry Nadeau smokes it up.
Steve Grissom got up out of the groove off of 2 over there and just now, and I don't know if he got in the fence or not, but he got mighty close.
The real downside when you start banging wheels like that is knocking one of those valve stems off and having a flat tire. You don't run the safety line or the inner shield here because it's basically considered a short track.
And this is about how much patience that some of these guys got. 50 laps. They're out of patience.
Looking back from Kenny Schrader. Teammates pacing 4th and 5th.
Anybody working a top groove yet? No, everybody's single file on the bottom. Yeah, I want to know if anybody's working a top groove yet. It's pretty much single file, Rusty.
No, and that's a veteran like Rusty who runs well here, has won here, led a lot of laps. I think he probably wishes that top groove had come in. His car needs to move up some because he gets a little high off turn 4 every other lap.
He'll depend on his spotter and crew chief to tell him when someone starts working the high groove and if it's working for them.
So far, I haven't seen anybody venture up.
No, Matt Kenseth now has dropped back to 9th place. Dick Berggren?
Well, Matt had worked his way up to 2nd spot. Then he got pushed around by a bunch of other cars. Wound up in 12th, worked his way up to 9th. Crew chief Robbie Reiser, what's going on with your race car?
We're doing all right. Just got punted around a little bit on the restart there and got knocked out of the groove. And when he first could get back in line, he was back in about 12th. So he's working his way back now.
All right. Kenseth's car is okay. He's on his way back up to the front.
As you can tell, it's as loud down there as it is chilly here at Richmond. A little bit of sprinkles on the glass here. We've completed 58 of 400 laps.
Boy, and I tell you, this little bit of rain, if we get a caution here, that's good news for some of these guys that are back in the field because closing in up in a hurry. Ward Burton set a blistering pace.
And I mean, Kyle Petty is one of them that started back in 6th. He's about 2 seconds from being lapped.
Jeff Green is running this race like it's a 100-lap Saturday night feature. He has just bombed his way right up into 2nd place.
And we've talked about it already a couple of times, Darrell and Mike. I just feel like that what little feedback those guys that ran the Busch race, Jeff Green didn't run a lot of it, but I think he ran enough that he learned something, was able to convey it to his crew chief, Todd Barrier, make that car better for tonight. Steve Burns.
Hey, Larry Mack, Jeff Green just told Todd Barrier the race car, as caution comes out, the race car is very good in turns 3 and 4, but rain's starting to come out now.
Well, the key will be, can we keep the heat in the racetrack and keep this water from accumulating and turning that gray asphalt to black, to shiny black, which would indicate that we've lost the racetrack.
Well, the problem is that the cars are running single file. If we could get some cars running side by side, we'd get that vortex working better. But this single file racing is just not creating enough vortex to get the clouds lifted out.
Now, I think there's no question those cars at the front of the pack that did not pit the first time on lap 24, they'll come to the pits. I mean, because we're not going to run no 140 laps of caution should it continue to rain. So go ahead, come in, get your 4 tires, make your adjustments. But you have to be careful. As we noted, pit road still is damp. It's not completely dry.
Well, now some of these guys like Tony Stewart and others that pitted in last caution, they'll probably stay out.
But most of the field is coming to pit road.
And those guys have about 30 laps on their tires. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if most of them comes to pit road. Tony Stewart, that group, they are coming to pit road. Looks
Dale
like
Jarrett's
basically Dale Jarrett, what he'll try to do is maybe at least stay out and lead a lap and get 5 bonus points.
I think his game plan was to stay out, Dick.
Now, Matt Kenseth is pitting for 4 tires and 2 cans of fuel. They're going to make a track bar adjustment to try to make the chassis a little bit better. To Steve Burns.
Thanks, Nick. Jeff Green in. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, a half a pound out of the left rear on the 34 tires, and his service is done.
Sterling Marlin bumped a member of Robbie Gordon's crew, knocked him off his feet, but the crewman was quickly back on his feet and completed the pit stop. Very close quarters there.
It appears that only 5 cars actually stayed out. Dale Jarrett, Michael Waltrip, Hermie Sadler, Bobby Hamilton, and Frank Kimmel. Again, they all pitted back about 30 laps ago. Looks like Hermie Sadler in 02. He's going to come to pit road now, so that leaves only 4 cars that didn't pit. Only car out of the race, Randy Renfro, retired his car after bringing the caution out back on lap 24.
Well, and Dale Jarrett started 39th. So this is what he planned. You know, he come in on that first one. Now he's got track position. Now he can race. From here on, he's even with everybody.
Matt?
Well, down here in the 22 pit of Ward Burton, no adjustments in the 22 car. He mentioned to Tommy Baldwin under the caution the car was just a little more free than he would like, but the car is fast. Meanwhile, on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Budweiser number 8, they made a wedge adjustment. His car was great on entry, great up off the corner, but it was just a little too tight.
Just a light shower falling, but that's enough to keep us from going back to green.
And as far as the cars that pitted, Rusty Wallace, that 2 group, they won the battle off pit road, but he'll actually restart the race in 5th. Ward Burton, they came out 3rd out of the pits, but he'll have to restart in 7th.
So pit stops complete under this second caution of the day for what we hope is just a short, light rain shower. Welcome back to Richmond, where the field has been brought down pit road, and when the last car comes to a halt, the red flag will be displayed. We're going to stop this race for rain. Hopefully this will be a short shower, as we thought it was all moving to the northeast, and it was, and now it's all moving to the southeast, and hopefully it will move on out of here and we can continue this race. So while we have a pause.
Oh, no. We normally don't do it this early, but I guess we have to do it since it's raining.
Pep Boys Trivia. This track used to be a flat half-mile. Now it's a 3/4 mile D-shaped oval. Who won on both the Richmond Fairgrounds Raceway and the Richmond International Raceway?
Ricky Rudd.
Ricky Rudd.
Okay.
Ricky
how many?
Rudd.
You got to give us a clue. How many is it?
There are 2.
There are 2. So
Ricky
we have
Rudd.
one of them. Terry Labonte. No,
Nice try.
no, it wouldn't be Terry Labonte.
Ricky Rudd and
Jeff Hammond?
Yeah, but he's got the book.
him and
No, I'm
Chris.
just sitting there scratching my head right along the rest of him. How about Rusty Wallace?
Thank you for playing.
No, that's not.
You said make a guess.
We have a nice
I can
parting
just
gift
as
for
guessy
you.
as you are.
Mark Martin.
Dale Earnhardt.
Dale Earnhardt.
I'll be.
Wow, is that what you're saying? Or is it a guess spread?
One on both the half-mile and the 3/4 configuration that we race on now. Well, very quickly, the jet dryers have been sent out to go to work to try to keep whatever heat was in this racetrack and keep us from, as we say, losing the track. But right now, the remnants of this storm system are heading to the southeast. Why are we covering the cutaway car? Oh, okay.
Hey, we do the same thing that everybody else does. When it rains, we cover our car up.